Welcome to the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast. My name is Katie Dodd, and I'm a nutrition entrepreneur. I spent 7 years as a side hustler before diving into entrepreneurship full time. Before making the leap, I was bringing in 6 figures through my side hustle. If I can do it, you can too. This podcast is for dietitians, interns, and students who want to be inspired to start or perfect the side hustle of their dreams. Let's do this. Hello and welcome to the 240th episode of the Dietitian Side Hustle podcast, Nutrition Trends for 2025. I'm so excited today to have a guest, Carol Harrison. She is a dietitian who lives in Canada, and she's the co-founder of Spark Nutrition Communications. Now, I am so excited to have you here today, Carol, and I would love if you could just share a little bit more with our listeners about who you are, what you do, and kind of what got you in this place of your career that one of your big focuses on trends for nutrition. So hand it off to
Oh,
you.
yeah, sure thing. Well, first up, thanks for having me. I'm very excited to be here as well. So yes, colleague, registered dietitian, a little north of you folks. I reside in Toronto, Canada. I've got 3 kids and have been practicing as a dietitian for like about 30 years. So yeah, I'm a 50 plus dietitian and I got started. I've always had a focus on health promotion and nutrition education. So I worked in nutrition and marketing in the food industry for about 15 years. Then I transitioned to my own consulting business and really enjoyed that. So that was, yeah, my daughter was only 3 and she's 22 now. And last, I say 5 years or so, I've also started, Katie, a side hustle. And I listen to your podcast as well, which is very helpful. So yeah, the side hustle is looking at helping dietitians stay on top of hot topics and trends to take the overwhelm out of all of that heavy lifting so that they can shine and just leverage them and move on, and serve their audience in whatever way they can, taking those insights and not feeling like they have to do that heavy lifting behind the scenes.
I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
And so Spark Nutrition Communications is your side hustle. And then your business partner is Shannon, who's also a dietitian.
Yes, that's right. So Shan and I did our undergrads together, and we worked together for a little while, actually in the dairy industry, and we were both consultants on and off, working on some projects. And yeah, we just kept in touch. And now we're really interested in helping to serve the dietitian audience and really focus on like leveraging and promoting the profession, very much like you do, because I think we're aligned when we think that dietitians have so much to offer and the untapped potential is like mind blowing.
Yes, yes, I love that. And I love that what you and Shannon do is you help other dietitians almost kind of do their thing easier. I'm
Yes.
excited today to dive into this conversation all about trends. So I'm just going to go through and ask you some questions. The first one is, why is keeping on top of trends so important for dietitians?
Right. Well, I think maybe most importantly for our profession is that we stay relevant and we stay current because, Kate, if we can't tackle those questions of the day, the things that are coming up, people are going to go look elsewhere. And we see it happening already, right? Like you're nodding. I could tell that, yeah, you're in agreement with that. So we want our profession to be top of mind when people are thinking about nutrition. And if you can think about your niche and a hot topic and trend and how that relates to their niche and then serve them and bring them in maybe with that pain point or that question that they have and then show them how you can offer so much more, it can really help your business or your side hustle as well. Of course, simple things like cutting through the misinformation is also really important, as well as differentiating yourself really in this competitive marketplace. So really a
Yeah,
great way to just boost your practice, but also the profession.
absolutely. And I think we all can agree that there are lots of people online who are sharing incorrect information, making a lot of money from it, and also causing so much confusion to the public. So it's a way that we can help the public and then also drown out the noise of the false information.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when you are seen as an expert providing that leadership to say, no, don't go down this road. I'm going to show
Yeah.
you the better path. Then people will want to follow you. And that's how you can become a leader in your and an authority and trusted advisor. And it really invaluable.
Yes, absolutely. What would you say is the biggest challenge that dietitians face when trying to leverage trends?
Oh boy, Katie. Okay. I think it's the overwhelm. Definitely the
Yeah.
overwhelm. Trying to keep on top of hot topics and trends while doing your regular job and staying on top of the evidence. And if you've got a side hustle, like pitching new work and paying for invoices and doing, social media and all those things. So we have shifting consumer behaviors, and we've also got emerging innovations, whether that's like food, tech, and health. So the constant evolution or evolving of the landscape is happening. And really, what Shannon and I like to say is we don't want to just help dietitians, keep up. We really want them to stay ahead of the game, right? So it can feel like a hamster wheel, like, go, 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 go. But it's not just a regular hamster wheel. There's like avocado on that hamster wheel, and you're just slip sliding. Or it can feel like a whack-a-mole, like there's just new hot topics and trends coming up, and you just feel like it's very overwhelming and a job on its own.
Yes, yes. So we want to stay relevant, we want to stay current, we want to stay on top of trends that our audience is interested in, but it's overwhelming because we're also doing all the other things. But this is actually
Yeah.
where you and Shannon make lives easier for dietitians. So maybe tell
Mhm.
us more about how you can use trends in your communications as a dietitian.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll do two things. I guess really I have like two side hustles. I've got my own nutrition communications consulting to clients, and then I've got this work that I do with dietitians. So your audience might really appreciate just hearing a little bit about both, I think. So for my business side, personal business side hustle, I'll use those trends to craft like creative and craft and create like relatable communications, everything from, so honestly, I write for national magazines, so magazine articles, podcast interviews like today, and I'm doing one next week on our national school food policy, recipe development, resource creation for government or clients, even pitching for TV segments, helping clients to come up with their strategic plans so we can look at like what's hot and what's trending and think about how that's going to impact their communication plans and who they target for the year. So a whole variety of things. And let me just like give you some more concrete examples then. So if we looked at say the healthy aging trend, like the longevity, I'll show you 4 ways I leverage that. So last month I was on TV and I combined the protein, which is a hot topic and trend, as well as healthy aging, the two. So protein for healthy aging. And so that was a way that I was able to leverage that trend. I've also helped a client to build out their healthy aging strategy. So I've got a client who's saying, we've never really done anything like this before. We know that we should probably be doing something in this area. Hey, Carol, like, where are the opportunities and what do you think is the best fit? Who should we go after? What should we do and how? And come up with a timeline. And then the great thing then is then I'm able to also create, and execute on those activities as well. So whether it's creating, things for dietitians or for consumers or other health professionals, then I can kind of help with that as well. I've also leveraged that with advising on recipe creation. So looking at recipes that clients wanted to create for the healthy aging group and say, well, these are the kind of things that are really important for this group. And so you might not want to do this, but these ones are looking really great. And do you want some ideas for my side hustle with the Spark nutrition communication side with Shannon?
Yeah.
I can give you a
All
couple
all of
ideas
the
there.
ideas are great because I
Okay.
hope that as
Okay.
people are listening, they can pick up like, okay, here's how trends I could leverage to help with this particular side hustle that either they have or maybe they're interested in starting.
Okay, sure thing. So take all these examples and run with them, or add your own like twist to it. And so leaning into webinar trainings is something that we've been doing with dietitians. So curating, the need to know information for dietitians. So we look at those trends and those hot topics, and we say, okay, now let's take, for example, the cooking at home trend, and we think, what do dietitians need to leverage that? What knowledge do they need, or inspiration, or skills do they need? And right now, we think that there's a real need for dietitians to build skills in creating recipe videos. We think that if you only tell people what to eat and you don't show them what to eat, you are missing the boat. So we think that that's a huge opportunity. It's like, we can't give people a fishing rod and say, best of luck to you, right? We got to show them, how to use that fishing rod. So the recipe videos we think are a great skill. And so we've taken the cooking at home and then pulled it back and said, so then dietitians, if that's trendy, they're going to probably need to know how to build those skills. And we both know we don't get that training in our undergrad, or in our masters, right? And so Shannon and I do TV and media, so we're very comfortable on camera. We've got lots that we can bring, and we've also started from scratch, from a day where, like, I remember one of my first interviews on national news where I just literally afterwards I wanted to throw up. I was just so I always say, look, don't think that we have not been there. We've made all the mistakes. And so anyway, that's some examples. Another quick one is Filipino and Korean cooking are going to be hot in 2025. So we're looking at maybe offering some in-person like cooking demos or hands-on cooking classes with dietitians so that they can have some authentic experiences understanding those ingredients and being able to speak to their clients or people who are interested in testing out those ingredients in their own way, and again have some authority on understanding, yeah, the Filipino and Korean cooking trend and how that applies to their clients. Just a few
Yeah.
examples there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of reiterate because I've been kind of writing down some things just as
Yeah,
I'm
sure
hearing you
thing.
talk some of the big takeaways of ways that side hustlers can use trends and communications to really help them with creating different opportunities. They can use it to either get more clients or almost maintain the clients and offer something else for them to continue to work with those clients, for getting brand and media work, producing information products to sell. You mentioned like webinars, videos, but then also in-person things like events or demos. So you're utilizing trends to be able to hit lots of different areas. And
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of multiple streams of income. So I think
Yes,
you're talking
100%.
lots of ways.
Yeah, and that's how we live, right? So, yeah, and the media pitches is another one to say, this is hot right now. I can come on, I can talk about this, I can write this article for you, I can join your podcast. People care about this, but they don't understand this angle of it. And here's my expertise. So you can use it as a hook to pitch what you have to offer. Because I think sometimes, maybe even myself, I felt this way in the past where I think, well, trends, they come and go, like, and so much work staying on top of them. But it's a gift if you
Yeah.
think about it, and how can you leverage that? Because again, like I said, if we don't do it, other people are doing it, and they're going to get out in front, like you said, and be making money and creating courses and getting all these other little gigs that dietitians are supremely positioned to excel at. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. So could you give us a sneak peek into the top 10 food and nutrition trends report that you create for dietitians? Tell us a little bit more about why, and how you created it and how it can help dietitians.
Right, right. Okay, so I'll just maybe quickly start with the why. Maybe we've covered that a little bit, but we're really interested in curating these hot topics and trends to take the overwhelm out for dietitians so that they can leverage it in their side hustle and or their future side hustle. And so, little sneak peek. Then it's a free report. We take 10 trends, and each page is a trend, and we'll kind of just give a little synopsis of what is it. What's what's the so what for dietitians, and then what are some opportunities for leveraging that, and then for each trend we also have like a go-to resource, like go check this out, this is really interesting, or here's how it's coming alive. So we try to be really careful in curating that. And do you think it would be helpful to just share some ideas on how we stay on top of hot topics and trends?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I could do that. All right. So, lots of ways. We go to trade shows. So, we'll go to the food and nutrition trade shows and sample products and talk to people about what are you creating and why are you creating them. And we go year after year and we start to see like what's bubbling up and like what's emerging. And very often, those trade shows will also have sessions on consumer marketing or again ingredients or what's trending and that kind of thing. So we take notes, we watch for that. We in the fall, oh my gosh, we spend so much time looking at trend reports, like days really, because we look at a lot of the different trend reports that come out, and we start to synthesize and curate and say, okay, we're seeing other people say this as well. So we're trying to like kind of triangulate, like as dietitians, we know that that's really important when we're doing nutrition research. So trying to find it in different places. Conversations with colleagues. The International Congress, Katie, was in Toronto. You weren't there last
Oh,
summer because I would looked for you. So having conversations last June with international dietitians even was like so fantastic. Even I'll tell you, like some of the craziest places, like I was watching a movie with my son just before the holidays. And you know how they have commercials or trailers before the movie? Well, one came up and it was on GLP-1 meds. I was like, wow, this is really coming to Canada big time if they are promoting it at the movie theater. So you'll find inspiration and tips all different kinds of places. I think your clients as well are a very important way to kind of tap into like what are they what are they feeding you in terms of what are they seeing and hearing as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And I know at the end we're going to let people know where to find this report. But can you
Right.
go over kind of high level? Like what are those 10 trending things we're seeing for 2025? And then maybe we could drill down on a couple. But what high level are the top 10 things right now?
Okay, so the top 10 ones. All right, we're going to take from the top. Okay, so we have the food cost crunch. That's number
Hmm.
1. GLP-1 meds shake up nutrition. Number 3, cooking at home, elevated and easy. Number 4, menopause moves mainstream, and hallelujah for that. Okay. Number 5, snacks with benefits. Number 6, gut health, filling up on fiber, and thank goodness, talking about fiber for more than just constipation. Okay. Number 7, proteins power play. We see that showing up in a variety of different ways. Number 8, personalized nutrition meets tech. How exciting and interesting is that? I hope everyone listening is thinking about how does this apply to me? How am I going to maybe tweak things or maybe move into this area if you're just trying to figure out your niche. Okay, longevity, living better, not just longer. That's number 9. And number 10 is the hydration craze. So those are the top 10.
I love it. We could spend a long time talking about this, but let's drill down to a couple trends and how dietitians can leverage them. Let's top two actually. Let's look at the food cost crunch because we're seeing that a lot, even for dietitians. Like, I don't know what eggs are costing up there in Canada, but eggs
Oh,
down here in
yes,
the United States are real expensive. So the
we've
food
heard
cost
that.
crunch, and then
Hmm.
also GLP-1 meds.
Yeah, sure thing. Okay, so yeah, and we could spend, lots of time talking about each. So just some
Yeah.
high levels. For sure, we all know it, right? Like it's a top concern for consumers, the price of food. And here in Canada, a family of 4 is going to pay about $800 more this year. And we even broke, this is very sad, Katie, we broke our record for food bank usage in Canada for all the years that we've been collecting data, like just really horrific. Food costs have gone up about 30% before the pandemic, and people are feeling the pinch. And then there's people that are really frank food insecure. We hear stories of moms who are skipping meals so that their kids can eat. Um, I'll give some highlights on what the research is showing about how consumers are responding, because I think that might be helpful for people to know. So people are obviously shopping the sales. So if you can help people with that, how to use those sale items to make meals and snacks. They're using coupons, they're looking for discounts, they're cooking more at home, and they're looking for help with batch cooking. So again, get the wheels turning, thinking about like, how could you help with that? Does that apply to your audience and your niche? They're looking for help with freezing foods and leftovers. Of course, private label brands are getting more attention because people are switching down from the the regular brand to a private label brand, thinking I'm going to save a little bit here, a little bit there. So, how can we help people to choose those products that are better for you in the private label category? Of course, reducing food waste as well. Now, those are really some of the top ways that the, consumers are responding. And then in our report, like I said, we also cover the so what for dietitians. And I think we're really, really good at this, Katie, right? Like we got this in the bag, right? Like how to help people with the food cost crunch. And that's why, I'm very excited to talk about this. I feel like it's an easy thing for dietitians to lean into, right? And
Yeah.
so I would suggest that we actually we do that because people consider the cost of food as more of a priority, sadly, right now, than the nutritional value. And so if we can lean with, I can help you with this food cost crunch, and then bring them along the journey to show, and we're going to make it super tasty and we're going to make it really nutritious as well. So understanding that that's like a good way to lean into it, I think is really important. Of course, dietitians can also advocate for systemic change. So we're not just looking to help people in the short term, kind of blame the victim to say, well, if you only knew how to shop smarter, everything would be okay. We know that there's not, and this is, I think, I'm guessing it's the same in the States, the big issue in Canada, our minimum wage is not enough for people to live off of. People can't work at Walmart all day and then like be able to afford the cost of living. So we need adequate, stable incomes, and dietitians, I think, can play a critical role in advocating for that as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. And I hope as people are listening, they're thinking like, oh, here's how I could even leverage my social media content or putting out
Yes.
new offers or, there's just so many
Yes.
things that I hope people are triggering. So let's talk a little bit
Yeah. Think of
about
a lead magnet, right?
yes,
A
lead
lead
magnets,
magnet.
get people on your email list.
Yes, to get people on your email list. So create, create a little training, a free webinar to invite people to say, I'm going to give you the top tips on how to eat well and spend less, and then just invite them to understand more about this related services that you have for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So can you tell us a little bit more about GLP-1 meds as a trending topic?
Yeah, sure thing. So, okay, we all know obesity is being reframed as a chronic condition. There's a surge in the GLP-1 weight loss meds. Public awareness of the weight loss drugs is on the rise. I bet a lot of us are finding, even just in our small circles of friends and families, that people are talking about it and
Mhm.
bringing it up as well. So, like I said, I was at the movie theater for us here in Canada. There has been, we've noticed, and then we've got this in our trend report, a real ripple effect. So here's what we want to watch out for: is food companies creating tailored supplements and tailored foods for users, like higher protein, because we know if you're eating less, well, your protein needs haven't dropped, but your calorie needs are maybe down, smaller portion sizes as well. The food industry is really having like a bit of a tough time now trying to figure out, as people are going to be eating less, how are they going to be, continuing to make sales. So there's going to be new products coming out. These are things you can talk about with your audience to say, like, here's what's relevant for you or not, or my best picks. So lots of opportunities there. It also creates more opportunity for dietitians to talk about food as medicine as well,
Mhm.
which has been something that's been hot for a while, but this is a new spin because, of course, as you eat less, then the need, for nutrient dense foods really matters, and functional foods as well. And we're also seeing lots of services and platforms specific for GLP-1, specific nutrition education. So I think this is a huge area for
Yeah.
dietitians, right? Lots of opportunity. It's early days for someone to get in there. And you can tackle, malnutrition and hydration and weight cycling and muscle and bone health in conversations with clients. Consider, also like the downside, like how is this contributing to eating disorders? This new kind of reemerged focus on weight loss as well. MyFitnessPal even has a nutrition plan, Katie. Like Target is doing partnerships with something called Supergut, and they got prebiotic snacks designed just for GLP-1 users. There's so much opportunity for dietitians to support people in this area.
I love that. So I'd love to know which trend you are following closely. Like which one are you following the most closely and
Yeah.
why?
Okay. So, hello, 50 plus dietitian. This is personal reasons as well. The healthy aging, I think. And so it is out of interest for myself, but I also think it's a huge opportunity for dietitians. These are people who have generally good amount of accrued income. They care about their health. They've got money. They want to spend it on taking care of themselves. They know that they can't, buy more. You can't buy more time, right? So health is really, really important. I'm also seeing clients as well coming and asking about, like I said, creating, strategies for healthy aging as an audience. It's kind of like the menopause audience, or even, let's say, be honest, women's health that's just been ignored for so long. It's like, oh, there's these older people who, like, we could be serving as well. So helping clients with that as well. Yeah, so that's some of like one of the ones that I'm following, and why. And it's not just food, it's also supplements. So Shannon and I actually gave a very successful training for dietitians on nutrition and brain health supplements, because that's something we don't get a lot of training in. And we know that for cognitive longevity, people are asking lots of questions, and we don't want dietitians, again, to be left behind.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this. So I feel like we've been giving people lots of sneak peeks about different trends for 2025, but where can
Mm.
people get this full report? How can people get access to this?
Okay, so very easy. Just go to sparknutritioncommunications.com for the report. And I'll let you know as well, Katie, we also offered a webinar. So we actually had fantastic guest speakers, even Anna Reisdorf there from our colleague in the States, has a hub on GLP-1 meds. So she was our speaker on GLP-1 meds. Three speakers talking about how are these trends going to evolve and look like in 2025. So if people want to get the report, they can also get the replay, and bonus, it's all free.
And I love that it's completely free. So I just went to the website, just how easy it is, guys. You go to the website. I scrolled right down to the bottom and found quick links, trend reports, and pulled it up, and it's right there. I love that. And thank you for offering this as a free resource for dietitians. I absolutely love this.
It's heavy lifting, and we really, like I said, we know that it's a lot of work, it's overwhelming. And if we can help dietitians to just look at that report and think about how does it help them to discover a niche or leverage their niche or try something new, then that's a win-win-win.
I love it. Awesome. So, where can people find you online? Like, where can they continue to follow your journey, learn more about what you're doing?
Yeah, sure. So I would say go to sparknutritioncommunications.com because we will have all of our links to all of our different social media platforms. So if you go there, then you'll find everything. We are on LinkedIn and we are on Instagram as well. We have lots of fun over there on Instagram too, at Spark RDs on Instagram.
Awesome. And what about your I'm curious because you mentioned it, your personal business that you're using where it's more like you to consumers, if people want to kind of see what you're doing and how you're leveraging these trends?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, a lot of what I'm doing is behind the scenes for clients. So creating like national campaigns, like Canada's agriculture campaign, or creating content for clients. So there isn't a lot of me, yeah, forward facing. Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well,
But
thank you
thanks for
so
asking.
much for being on the podcast, Carol. Is there anything you want to share before we wrap up?
I just want to thank you for all that you do, Katie, because I think that we are very aligned in our philosophies on done is better than perfect. And I love to listen to your podcast because it reminds us all that perfectionism is not a badge of honor. And so I think that's a really important message for dietitians. So thanks for championing that.
Well, thank you. And thanks for being on today, sharing with our listeners. I hope that they got so much out of this. And yeah, go grab this report, follow them on Instagram at Spark RDs. And thank you, Carol, so much.
Thank you.